All right, here we go. First video. Hi guys, my name is TheGabulator. So this is my first video. I'm just going to start off with making some math tutoring videos because I am a private math tutor. I've been doing it for over 7 years now, and I have a lot of recurrent tricks that I teach people that I'd like to show you guys, and I'd like to make specific videos, so if you're having trouble with one specific thing, you can look it up by that specific thing and not have to, click through a whole hour-long tutoring video just for the 3-part section that you need, 3-minute section. So I'm just gonna go randomly, and hopefully we'll build more videos and you guys can have more content to watch. So right now we're gonna do some polynomials. So in math, you're gonna have a lot of weird names that they love to throw at you. You're gonna be like, I don't know which one this is compared to the other weird name. What's a quadratic? What's a polynomial? What's a function? What's, an exponent? It's a whole bunch of names. I promise I'll try to help them make sense. Polynomials, if you'll notice in the beginning part, it has the word poly in it. It just means many or multiple. So we're just looking at a long string of numbers and or letters that just has multiple parts. All right, so we've got 2 pieces of parentheses here. We've got 1 parentheses over here and 1 parentheses over here, and an addition sign in between. All they're asking us to do in this problem, let's take a step back. What do they want us to do with this problem? What are we supposed to be doing? Addition. That's all we're supposed to be doing. So we're going to take a look at this first one. Now, something I'm going to tell you guys in every single video is, even though I've already got the problem written down, when you're doing it at home, always start by writing the problem down. Why? Because I can't tell you how many times I've seen people start off a problem in their homework and screw up in the very first step because they've changed something from when they looked at it and then when they wrote it down, and they're like, why am I getting the answer wrong? It's like, well, you had the whole equation wrong to begin with because you wrote it down wrong. So write it down. And it's okay to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, especially in math. Even we tutors sometimes. All right, so I'm just gonna double check. I wrote my problem down. I've got negative t to the 3rd power plus 5t squared minus 6t, in parentheses, plus, parentheses, 8t squared minus 8t, in parentheses, and see, even I did it. There's an equal sign. All right, now, since this is addition, we don't have to worry about any signs changing, so we can just drop all the parentheses and just write it as one long string. So it's just going to become negative t cubed plus 5t squared minus 6t plus 8t squared minus 8t. Now I realize this might not be the best problem to start out with because in math, sometimes they pick letters that aren't the best because t, if you write it wrong, looks just like a plus. So I'm trying very hard to make it very differentiated so you guys don't get confused. All right, now with any kind of equation, we can simplify. All right, simplify. Simplify is just math words for make it easier, because we don't want a long string of numbers. You don't want a long string of numbers. Nobody wants confusion. We want to make it as simple as possible. All right, so we've got 5 different numbers here. Let's see if we can combine some of them and make it 2 or maybe even 3. All right, now here's a rule with exponents. You cannot add or subtract anything that does not either have the same letter or the same exponent. Now these are all have the letter t, so we're good there. But if you look here, this first one is negative t cubed. Now, do we have any other cubes in this equation? Nope. So this negative t cubed stays as negative t cubed because we can't add or subtract anything to it. There's nothing else we can do. You can only add or subtract like things with like things. You can't do apples and oranges. You can't do grapes and pecans. You can only do letters with the same letters and exponents with the same exponents. All right, so now that we're done with the cube, there's nothing we can do with that. So that one's already simplified. Good job. All right, now let's move on to the next one. We've got 5t squared right here. Do we have another t squared? We actually do. It's right here, and I've underlined them. So we've got 5t squared, and I'm going to move that over here. We've got 5t squared plus 8t squared. All right, now we can add those together because, let's double check, they both have t's and they're both squared. So they have the same letter and they have the same exponent, so we're good. Now, all we do is we just add or subtract the numbers in front just like they're normal numbers. Don't worry about the letters. A lot of people get confused because they're like, but it's a whole big thing. What's the t and the square doing? They're nothing. All they're doing is just telling us if we can add or if we can't. So now we're just going to look at the front letters. Numbers. We've got -5 plus 8. So this is basically just saying, what is -5 plus 8? Well, if you remember from your days of being introduced to negative numbers, 8 is bigger than -5, okay? So our end number is going to be positive, and it's going to be a 3. All right, and I can show you that on a number line if you guys want, but if you're looking up this, I'm hoping you understand how negatives and positives work. So we end up with positive 3. Now we have to bring down the t and the squared. Okay, so -5t squared plus 8t squared gives us 3t squared. So we just took those two pieces and combined it into one. Now, forgive me, I am not the tutor that calls everything by their actual name like polynomials. I know what the words mean, but like you guys, I am not going to call everything by their specific name. These are things, and those are whatsits, and thingamajigs, and whoever's, and whatever's, and I don't remember what that's called. I'll explain it to you in the beginning, and then we're just going to do the math, okay? So now we've got -t cubed plus 3t squared. Now if we go back up here to this step, we still have 2 left. Now we've got -6t and -8t. Now technically, here's where a lot of people get confused. Technically there is an exponent. It's an invisible 1. Okay? If it's a 1, we don't usually write it in math. So we've got -6t and -8t. They both have a t, which is good, and they're both to an exponential power of 1, so we can add those. So let's write them over here. We've got -6t minus 8t. All right, so just like we did over here, we're going to pretend the t's don't exist for a moment and just deal with the numbers. So we've got -6 minus 8. All right, so -6 minus 8 gives us -14. And we bring that t down, so it's -14t. All right, so if we put that back over here in our string, -t cubed plus 5t squared minus 6t plus 8t squared minus 8t simplified gives us -t3 plus 3t squared minus 14t. This is the same thing as just condensed. All right, it's like if you've got a bunch of makeup or, you know, a bunch of socks, and you find all the socks in the pile and match them into pairs and then put them away. All we're doing is we're matching pairs here. All right, same things, just we put them together. All right, so we can't do anything else with this. They didn't want us to factor this at all. They just wanted us to add them. Remember, we were adding this whole time. So our answer is -t cubed plus 3t squared minus 14t. I'm going to write this over here as well. -t cubed plus 3t squared minus 14t is our answer. Okay? That is how you do that. Thanks, guys. Hope this helps.